Hello, and welcome to Spirit Touched. We're going to talk about some of the things that can possibly happen at altars, and one of them is called deliverance. In Psalm 144:2, David calls God his deliverer. Then in verses 8 and 9, he asks God to deliver and rescue him. God delivers his people into things when he needs to and out of things or places. Most pastors never want to talk about the first one. They prefer to talk about the second. However, that cuts God in half and takes away some of his holiness. It doesn't give us the full picture of who God is and what he does. He does both for his children. He uses people and angels in the process. Look at how he sent Joseph to Egypt so that he could later help deliver God's people and his own family from famine. Then they became slaves for 400 years, and God used Moses to make the delivery from that slavery into the promised land. Why? Oh, he did the same thing when he sent them into captivity in Babylon, and 70 years later used Nehemiah to take them back to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple and the walls. In Persia, he used Esther to deliver the Jews from Haman's death plot against them. Right now, this nation is looking for deliverance. They think elected officials can do the job. How wrong they are. Only God can do that job. He took the Jews out of slavery in Egypt to take them into the promised land. That's how he works. Since sin is a form of slavery, that's why he has to take us out of its bondage so he can take us into his family. That's what salvation does. In the case of Mary Magdalene, she had to be delivered from those demons inside of her so that she could be free to follow Jesus and do what God needed her to do for his son. With Esther, she had to be in the king's harem so she could be so she could have favor with the king when the time came. The disciples were just 12 ordinary men Jesus called out of their ordinariness to become extraordinary. Once his time on earth was finished, then for 3.5 years, he taught and showed them by his own example. God even took Jesus out of Israel into Egypt for those 2 years when Herod was going to kill all the babies under the age of 2. Then, when Herod died, he sent the little family back home to Nazareth until it was time at age 30 for Jesus to begin his ministry. Then God put his son on the cross to deliver us so that we could be free to serve him until his son comes back to get us. and deliver us into the promised land called heaven, to spend eternity praising and worshiping at his altar. Let him make you a really saved, victorious person by delivering you. You may send your prayer requests to heanswerstwo@gmail.com.